But only one can stand glorious over all. From the Badlands come the orcs and goblins, a green tide of brutal creatures that must be stopped. In Sylvania, the dead rise again. The vampire counts march forth. Mighty dwarf kingdoms, long thought diminished, are resurgent under their high king. And at the old world's heart stands the Empire. Karl Franz must prove worthy of the Warhammer. Chaos, its corrupting, changing taint, despoils all before it. Only the strongest will endure. War is upon us. It is unending.
Okay, so started a little early because we're going to go through the tutorial. I'm going to learn some basics before we get started. If you are watching, give a hoot as far as who you think we should start with. First, I'm going to go through some tutorials, learn the basic stuff.
The campaign of Total War Warhammer is the grand strategic game, where you will manage your faction's economy, build your settlements, raise and maintain your armies, make nice with your allies, and wage war on your enemies across the old world. There is much depth and nuance to the campaign, but this video is to help you understand the broader basic points of gameplay that will help find some solid footing from which to begin your conquests. Each race has its own unique playstyle, but we will be using the Empire interface in this video to show you the core gameplay of the game. Provinces contain settlements, which are managed from this panel. All the settlements in a province, in this case Reichland, are shown here, both yours and those belonging to other factions. Settlements are made up of buildings, which are constructed
Thought
here.
that was something in my screen.
You can view the building browser, a comprehensive tree of possible construction paths, here. Buildings can provide income, recruitment, and growth, whilst also affecting public order and reducing corruption. More building slots are unlocked as you upgrade the main settlement building, which is in turn upgraded by population surplus, which is gained as province population grows. Growth is increased by buildings and is key to developing your faction. Settlements are automatically taxed, unless you disable it, which provides income for your faction. Public order, or obedience, is how under control your population is, ranging from 100 to -100. It is important to maintain your public order. If it reaches -100, a rebellion will be triggered. Corruption is caused by the nearby presence of vampire or chaos forces. If it is too high, it will affect public order and alter the landscape. Once you own all the settlements in a province, commandments can be issued, which provide various province-wide bonuses. All armies are led by a lord, which are recruited from the province overview panel. Lords are the generals of your army, and an army cannot exist without a lord leading it. Every army has a movement zone that shows how far they can move in a single turn. They also have a zone of control around them, which enemy armies cannot move through unless they intend to attack, making them useful for blocking routes for other armies. Units are recruited to a lord's army from the army panel. Every unit has an upfront cost to recruit, as well as a per-turn upkeep cost. The more units you have, the more you will pay every turn to maintain them. So ensure you have the necessary income to afford your units every turn. For each new army you raise, the faction-wide unit upkeep will increase, so be mindful when recruiting new armies and units. Each unit is represented by a unit card on the army. More detailed information on a unit can be found on the unit information panel. Armies are used to attack other armies and settlements. Attacking an army shows you the pre-battle panel. Here you can see the balance of power bar, which shows you who the battle favors based on relative army strengths. You can also choose whether to fight the battle personally, auto-resolve it, or retreat. Armies can move across the map depending on their stance. You can change your army's stance from the stance menu. Each stance confers various benefits and detriments upon the army. Armies attacking settlements will fight for control of it, fighting past any garrison armies it may have. If the settlement has a crenellated banner, it is a walled settlement and will be a siege battle, requiring that you construct siege equipment to breach it. Unwalled settlements will be standard land battles. Alternatively, you can maintain the siege and attempt to starve the defenders into submission over many turns. The bar at the top of the campaign HUD shows you the most important information about your treasury. You can see your current treasury here, and your expected income in the next turn here. Your income is based on many factors: trade, settlements owned, unit upkeep, and general spending. You can see a more detailed breakdown of your incoming and outgoing expenditure here. You must ensure you keep your incoming funds higher than your outgoings. Otherwise, you will begin to lose money and you will go bankrupt. Bankruptcy is devastating. Your forces will begin to desert, and public order will plummet across your faction. The most effective way of reducing your outgoing costs is by disbanding units, removing their per-turn upkeep cost, and returning that money to your faction. All races can attack the settlements of others, sacking, looting, and razing to their heart's content. But occupation of settlements can only be done between certain races. By selecting one of your armies, then hovering over a settlement, the tooltip will tell you whether you can occupy it. Heroes can roam the campaign map alone, taking action against enemy settlements, heroes, lords, and armies. They can also be deployed in your own provinces to provide benefits where they are stationed, as well as passively fighting or spreading corruption. They can also be embedded into your armies, where they become powerful warriors on the battlefield. All lords and heroes gain experience from fighting and performing actions, which, when they level up, grant them skill points. Skill points can be spent on the Skills tab of the Character Details panel. Skills improve a character both on the campaign and in battle, granting them campaign and battle bonuses, as well as unlocking new spells, abilities, and mounts.